What is up, YouTube? McIntyre here. Today I wanted to go back over my solo queue tier list. It has been a while. As you can see, 425 is the last time that I updated it. So today is 6/3/2017. The most recent patch is actually going to be the Alarak plus Tyrande. No, it's not even that. It is the Tass auto attack buff patch. So that was the most recent thing that's really dramatically changed. Where Tass had already got his auto buffed. They increased the healing on his shield. So most recent patch. And so much has changed, honestly, on this list since that last update. So a couple things off the start. I don't think that Malf is S tier anymore, nor is Arthas. I think we have a new big boy in town. That's going to be Genji. As of recently, I just think Genji dominates here league. He's just hard to deal with. If the other team doesn't have answers, then he'll dominate the game, as well as a Muradin because of his web talent. I think Cocoon is just so powerful. It's basically free picks wherever you want to go. Yeah, he's just a really powerful tank when it comes to Hero League. So what I need to do is, I still believe that Arthas is a tier 1 tank, but I also want to say that Dahaka has moved up in the ranks. I would say he's almost as high as Muradin with the recent changes to his move speed. The move speed talent at level 1 paired with the auto talent at level 7. The auto talent, basically every time you auto attack, you decrease the cooldown of your tongue. It just feels impossible to get away from Dahaka with these two talents, and by the time he's tongued you and autoed you, he's autoed you enough that he can hit tongue again. It feels so oppressive, and for me, he's moved up, you know, not really to the main tank slot, but a very high spot within this list. So another thing that has happened basically since I made this list is Lucio has really lost a lot of his popularity. Let me move him back under here even. The reason for that is just his CC. Right now the meta is hovered really around one shot and CC heavy comps, either with your team providing the CC and you needed to follow up, or the other team having CC and you needing to get people out. So that's why we're still going to have our top 3 supports, Malf, Uther, Rhaegar. Basically, Malf I still think is the best because of Twilight Dream and Bolt, Ice Block, Cleanse, Root, Heal, Mana. He's just got everything. He's the Swiss Army of supports. But Uther is next up in line for me personally. I've been playing on support only Smurf, and I actually have the most success with Uther because a lot of the time people prioritize Malfurion, and if the other team takes Malf, you just take Guardians at 7, which is the 75% heal on CC, and a lot of the times Malfs are going to root your team. You just have to pop 1 heal on them, and they're good to go. You don't have to worry about them anymore. You also get D-Storm and Stun, which are both 2 tools to get picks and win team fights. So I find Uther to be very effective against Malfurion. And then we have Rhaegar, who is our wave clear tank, wave clear support. He essentially is really good at clearing waves quickly. He can jungle really well on maps like Towers of Doom, and even Hanamura. And then we have Oriole as our last tier 1, which I still feel is a tier 1 support if paired correctly. If you have an energy generator like Cassia with her level 1 talent, you have Lunara, Gul'dan, all those heroes. If you have one of those, Vala even with Ariel, then you can have a really powerful support role. So I think these are all the tier 1 supports. This is basically what you want to be taking every game if you can. So we'll kick back to the tanks now. For me, Varian, I'd say is still really powerful in HL, but if this list was targeted towards Platinum and below, I would put Varian as S tier. He is honestly just so easy to play and so easy for your team to play with that I would have him at S tier. But since this list is kind of focused more on a higher level of play, I'm going to drop him down to tier 2. He can be dealt with, and yeah, a lot of the time now with his nerf to his level 1, he's not, or is level 7, I guess. He's not the god tank that he used to be. Before, he could just go in, solo the other team, get out. Now, if he goes in and your team's not there, then you can kind of have a lot of trouble. But yeah, Arthas is still really strong, very tanky, has heavy CC, does good damage. Another really high priority tank for me right now is actually Tyrael. I think Sanctification just works so well with a lot of these heroes that are low defense and have a kind of hard time dealing with, I guess, this high CC, right? If you have an Ariel pick, for example, when you take Tyrael with Ariel, he protects her really well and probably protects whoever's generating energy really well. So that looks like my tier 1 warriors. We get a tier 1 assassins. So we have Vala, Greymane, Lunara, Rag, Zeratul, Falstad. One thing that has happened is Rag did get nerfed. So Rag actually falls out here. Probably coming down to, I'd say, low tier 2, somewhere in here. I don't know really why Butcher is here. I'm going to move Butcher down. I'll have him replace Alarak because Alarak is going to come up. Alarak with the recent buff actually is just an insanely powerful melee assassin, and in Hero League especially, you can just find the pick on somebody immediately when the team fight. I'd say Vala is still powerful, but not what she used to be. So she's gonna come down to high tier 2 again. I do believe that she is one of the better range damage dealers in the game at the moment. Oh, look at this. I have a Genji video. I'm just going to put that right there. But I don't think that she is just an absurd range carry like she used to be. I would probably have Greymane be number 1, Cassia be number 2, and then Lunara probably lower in this. Lunara is still strong, but she isn't, the game's gotten a lot quicker, and because of that, Lunara has lost her place, right? She was also an answer to Varian and the Arthas meta that we had before, and that kind of meta has fallen off, and we've gotten more mobile tanks with Tyrael, Anub, Muradin, and now, heroes like Dahaka are moving really fast. You have to be ready for them. So I would almost even say that Lunara might not even be a tier 1 ranged anymore, but I don't want to go so far as that. I still think she has a place. You honestly could, I'll switch it this way. I feel a little more comfortable having Vala still tier 1 because I do think that she is one of the better ranged in the game at the moment, especially when it comes to Hero League, because she provides wave clear, she provides follow-up CC. But I don't think she's tier 2 yet. However, Nazeebo, when we look at tier 1 specialist, is a high quality ranged hero right now. Him and Falstad are both kind of the same role to me. They just provide lots of wave clear. They have utility. Zebo has wall. Falstad has gust. These things are just nice tools for your team, and a lot of the time they protect your, carries, I guess you should say. Another hero that I think actually sneaks up here, but not as a tank role, but as just a melee role, is the Sonya pick, and I'm going to grab this one instead. So I really think that in the current meta, Sonya is really powerful, and I believe that she's one of the better, melee bruisers. The other one would be the Yorick, and he probably is top 2 on tier 2 right now. He's right there on being really powerful, but a lot of the time, especially with Hero League, your team, might not have answers for him. The other, sorry for this, guys. Yeah, thank you, Nick.
Enjoy the videos. Hope you land in a good spot after Rost Apocalypse Mac and God.
Yeah, shout outs to the Barrel Boys. So the thing about Leoric, I guess I should say, is, you know, his problem is if you entomb and the other targets that you're trying to kill is mobile, then you're not going to be able to kill him the same as, you know, maybe with a Sonya burst on leap, right? So I think that he's still really powerful. He's an incredibly powerful solo laner, and he's an answer to a lot of these tier 1 warriors, but you just can't take him all the time. And a lot of the time in Hero League, you take him, and then your team kind of forces you to solo tank as him, right? And that's just not a spot you want to be in. I'm going to move Joe up too, because I do think that she's still pretty powerful, especially against a lot of this one-shot stuff, and she protects your carries a lot of the time from some of the damage coming out. Yep, so we're looking at the tier 2 range. I think most of this hasn't really changed. If we come down here, you know, we have our Illidan's and Varians. I still think that, you know, while we could maybe bring two-hand Variant up, he did get nerfed, so I just don't want people playing that here at all. I know that people will argue with me and say, oh, well, you know, he's not that bad, and okay, maybe I should move him up to tier 3. I just don't want people playing this hero. It's just so weird to me, like the two-hand version, right? Like, I feel like you could just play any other hero and he would be just as impactful. It's just that Variant two-hand is so easy to cast and use that, I don't know. It's hard for me to say. It's like playing Kerrigan, essentially. I don't want to knock it, and, you know, my tier 3 is one tricks, right? Like, you can one trick Variant two-hand and get away with it, and I'm not saying that it's bad. I don't know, man. Every time I have it, I wish that I had something else. I still think it dominates Hero League just because of its easiness and consistency. But, alright, so yeah. So our tier 2s, you know, Rag's still really powerful, good wave clear. Chromie does really well against Cassia. Gul'dan, I would say, is maybe actually up there again. Probably top of the block here. Great wave clear, really good engage. You know, good fear can win a team fight. His problem is you really need a support for him, so I wouldn't suggest going him if you have the Uther. Maybe with a Rhaegar you can get away with it, but, you know, you want your Malf, you want your Ariel, you want your medic healing you, where you can just constantly get target healed instead of having to wait around to be healed. Tracer probably drops, honestly. Just her health pool is too low, and a lot of the times, you know, if a couple of these heroes just hit her, she's just gonna die. She can't really trade into a lot of the heroes that are higher up right now. Looking at our specialists, we have Hammer, we have Sylvanas, and Probius. I would say the Probius is the only thing to me that I don't like there. I would move Probius down here to the Asmodee tier. These are just all really good, like, wave clear. They can work in some comps, they work on some maps. They're just not what you want to be picking all the time, right? And, you know, you can have your one tricks for these heroes. Zagara is the same way. I mean, this is basically just like, I hate to use Glogan's name in my tier list, but, you know, he's a specialist only player, and these are his go-to heroes. He's not playing the good heroes, he's playing the tier 3 heroes. And it works for him. Like, however, it's not necessarily good. It's just good because people hate playing against it. Let's put it that way. Looking at our tier 3 warriors, we have Diablo, Artanis, Chin, Rexar. That looks about right. I actually want to bring Stitches up. As of recent, I have been playing a lot of Slam Stitches, and I don't know. I think it's crazy. Like, if you have one of the 2 stun supports, like, I think it's so powerful. I'd say Rexar is probably the bottom of the barrel right now. Like, Slam Stitches, though, when you hit 16 and you get pulverized with the range talent at 13, it's just so easy to hit hooks. You do a lot of damage. You're incredibly difficult to kill. So I would actually bring him up. Again, the meta revolves around, like, killing people quickly. And, you know, not only does he get hooks and kill people quickly, but he's incredibly difficult to kill. So he's a good target, you know, to let the other team hit on, so you can tank up lots of damage. So now we get into our tier 3s. These are Kael'thas, Jaina, basically our wave clearers. We have Thrall, who's a great solo laner in some cases. Valera, powerful in quick match and powerful in Hero League for the same reason. Disorganized play, easy to get picks. You know, people are just bad at the game in general, so Valeera punishes that. You know, sadly, I should probably have Valeera as tier 2. I'll bring her up. My only thing is that if you pick her, you do have to know how to play her. And honestly, if the other team picks a Death Ball comp, you're going to have a really bad time. I think for me, it's just like I'd rather play a lot of other assassins, but she does do things well, right? And then we have Kerrigan, you know, good on Infernal, but I'd say pretty weak right now in the current meta. Tracer, Zul'jin, Butcher, you know, these are all, again, these are one-trick hero. You're going to see people playing these characters, like, it's just going to happen. Like, that's that. People love to play them. We have our Specialist, which is, yeah, again, we talked about that, Glogan. Support, Monk, Tyrande. I would actually... Yeah, I think that's about right. I might bring Monk up and bring Lily down. For me, personally, at the moment, I think I like Monk here where Lucio is, and I like Lucio down here. I think that's probably how I would set up all the supports right now. Tass with the recent buff is actually pretty good in Hero League. Maybe behind these two. Medic, just good on some maps, just wins Hero League games outright. Monk, you know, if these 4 supports are down, then Monk's your go-to guy. Whereas like Lucio, Lily, Tyrande, Lucio is really only good if you have Arthas or Dahaka, you need people to move around. Lily is really only good if you need to blind the other team. And then with the recent changes to Tyrande, a lot of people thought it was a buff, but it ended up being a nerf. Her new kit is just not what it used to be. All those little talents that were activatables really brought that hero together. And then now we get down to tier 4. These are all the heroes when you get really excited when your teammates draft them in Hero League because you know you're in for a treat and that the game is going to be really, really fun and exciting. So that's your Illidan players, your Nova only players, your Raynor only players, your Samurai only players, your Rexar only players, your Murky only. These are heroes that people don't essentially want to pick a lot of the time, but there are the players out there that just jam them only. Like, yeah, I don't know. They're not really, you know, they have, I guess, you know, sometimes Illidan's really strong. These are your Hana, let's put it this way. These are your Hanamura heroes. That's a good way to explain this tier. You know, they work really well in disorganized, chaotic, unfun situations. So, and then we're moving on to our 5th, but sadly, you know, this tier surprisingly has changed for me. I think Cho'Gall is a weirdly strong hero. The problem in playing him in Hero League, and the reason why I just do not suggest him, is because A, you probably don't know how to play him. B, the other person hovering doesn't know how to play him. And, you know, C, if you do know how to play him, then he's actually pretty good. But the A and B usually are true before C. And if C is true, lock in Cho'Gall. Just as long as you have an Ariel or something, it's free wins in Hero League. I'll be honest with you guys. I've never said that before, but I've played against some Cho'Galls and it's not fun. And you usually lose. But yeah, I'd say that this tier list is actually up to date now. I like where most of these heroes are. This seems fair to me, and I think the only I'm looking at this Hammer. She's probably at the bottom here, but she's still pretty good, I think, in Hero League. And then we have the newest addition, which is going to actually be Diva. I haven't mentioned her yet. She's probably, you know, she's up here with Leoric, and the reason for that is she's a very hard to kill solo laner, and she excels on certain maps. I take that back. Diva's probably tier 3. In the case, you know, she's strong if she's played right, and she's strong on certain maps, but she's not always good. So I don't think that she's a bad hero. Maybe she's OP, and in the next video, I'm going to say, wow, I was so wrong. But for now, I think she's maybe more of a tier 3, and you can play her well, and she's good on certain maps. but you just don't want to jam her everywhere. Where you look at your tier S's, and any game where you have Genji or Noob, you feel really good because the game's probably free. But that's going to be this for this tier list, guys. Sorry it's been a while since I updated. I haven't actually been playing a lot of Hero League, like, seriously. As of right now, I have been putting in a lot more time into Hero League. I've been focused on it more. I've been wanting to kind of continue to expand my hero pool and really refine certain heroes. Since, you know, I did have my falling off with B-Step, and now, you know, I'm trying to either find a new spot within an HGC team or, you know, potentially create an amateur team. And on both of those, I would, you know, really like to play melee or a tank role. So I've really been practicing back on, you know, melee heroes, tank, warrior kind of roles, and straying away from the range role that I was playing on B-Step. So because of that, I've been playing a lot more Hero League. You know, on my main account, I'm like number 10 GM or something, and then I've been leveling up a new Smurf that's just all melee heroes, and I think he's like D2 or something. Even, you know, I've been playing some Europe Hero League, and I got to Masters and on the EU server. So I would say that this list for me is correct at the moment, and if I got any of these picks, tier 1, tier S, or tier 2, I'm going to have a good time. So again, if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to do a like on it and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can always check me out on Twitch and Twitter. Those are located in the description below, which is actually where this video is happening right now. So shout outs to Nick for subscribing to my Twitch channel, and you guys got to enjoy that earlier. But that's going to be it for today's video. So thank you all so much for your support, and, you know, we'll have to see where we end up here in the future as far as if I continue to play or not. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace.